It's April 14th, 2020, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxel, and as recently as a month ago, I looked like this. Now I look like the 1995 New York Islanders logo. I also play hockey as well as the 1995 New York Islanders did, so I guess it fits. This week, Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders announced the suspension of his campaign and then officially dropped out of the race, making the party's apparent nominee for president a rapist. But is he? The New York Times on Friday reported the results of their investigation into Tara Reade's accusations of sexual assault against Joe Biden in 1993, while she was a member of his staff. The Times found, and I quote, "no pattern of sexual misconduct by Mr. Biden, beyond the hugs, kisses, and touching that women previously said made them uncomfortable." When asked to comment, Biden said,
I think that, I think if...
After putting Biden down for his afternoon nap, a spokesperson said that Biden thought this Tara Reade was actually Tara Reade from the movies American Pie and Sharknado, and just assumed that nothing he could do to her could be more humiliating than that. With some thoughts on how Bernie Sanders supporters are handling the recent turn of events, we go to special correspondent and future aging hippie, Allie O'Neill. NewsBrake correspondent Allie O'Neill. Tomorrow is April 15th, which means it's tax day. Wait a minute. No, it's not. Because of the pandemic, federal tax returns aren't due until July 15th, and most states have followed suit. Which leads us nicely into our brand new segment called The Bright Side, where we focus on some of the positive things that have resulted from this global pandemic. Gas is $1.35 a gallon. There's no annoying door-to-door solicitations. It's fun to drive on the Atlanta downtown connector and zip around the Grady curve at 80 miles an hour. It's now acceptable to run away from homeless people. We can completely ignore all those awful social media influencers. I never used toilet paper before the pandemic, and now nobody thinks I'm weird. What used to be called alcoholism is now just a day well spent. Showering and wearing pants are now optional, just like in Walmart before the pandemic. Wow, that felt really good getting outside for a bit, didn't it? You know what? Let's do it again. Here with an Atlanta traffic report is John Babcock.
In 3, 2, 1. Brian, I'm here overlooking the main thoroughfare for our city, and things seem to be flowing very well. There isn't much traffic as a lot of people are telecommuting to work. If that means that they're working from home via their telephone and or computer, then that's what I mean. As you can see behind me, traffic is at a very, very reasonable pace. People are getting by, people are heading their way. Everything seems to be fine. Back to you, Brian Troxel, in the studio, question mark?
Question mark indeed. Thank you, John D. Babcock III. In environmental news, as we in the United States have collectively completed 1 month of quarantine due to the coronavirus, Easter Sunday tornadoes have ravaged the South, and giant locusts have been invading Kenya. Our on-the-scene correspondent Moses is reporting that Pharaoh has still not let his people go. Trolls World Tour set a record as the biggest digital movie debut of all time. Universal Studios simultaneously released the movie in theaters and on digital due to the coronavirus pandemic. Further proof that you'll watch almost anything when you're stuck inside your house for a month. On Wednesday, 3 individuals were seen floating down a river in Russia on an ice floe. Onlookers were very concerned about the trio's well-being as they were clearly not standing 6 feet apart. The NFL announced Commissioner Roger Goodell would conduct the 2020 NFL Draft from the comforts of his own basement. For Washington Redskins draft picks, Goodell will move to his toilet. After a promising start, the XFL filed for bankruptcy this week after the pandemic cut short their first season. The new XFL enacted some radical changes on kickoffs and punts, but they also respected tradition. For example, they paid tribute to the Alliance of American Football by filing for bankruptcy before finishing their first season. Zoo Miami gave the world a much-needed dose of cuteness by showing off 2 newborn clouded leopard cubs. Both cubs will eventually be sold to a weirdo breeder who will try to hire someone to kill a business rival and then be featured in yet another Netflix documentary you're going to binge watch because it's not like we're going outside anytime soon. Health experts say vaping can increase the risk of developing COVID-19 complications and spreading the virus to others. Experts say the only safe vaping is Sketchworks Comedy's parody Vape the Musical. Our lawsuit against the rights holders of Greece is slowly working its way through federal court, and we are still fighting for our right to free speech as guaranteed to all of us by the First Amendment. #FreeVape. That's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxel. Say hi to your mom for me. Actually, you know what? I'll just Snapchat her.